What's the first thing you think of when I say Minecon? To many people, one word comes to their head. Cringe. More like CringeCon. I remember growing up, Minecon was the talk of the talk at first because everyone wanted to go there. Then, because everyone was cringing at it.
This is cringy. This is cringy, I'm sorry.
I have vivid memories of some of my favorite YouTubers talking about how cringy this event was. I hadn't heard anyone talk about it for a while, so I knew I needed to make a video on this. Society needs to remember the tragedies of Minecon. So before I even started recording though, I went to check out some of the cringe compilations just to get, a little lay of the land, and not even 30 seconds into it, I started feeling a little weird. Something just felt wrong. I felt guilty for watching this cringe compilation. I started thinking, why do we find this so cringy in the first place? Well friends, I soon entered a rabbit hole I could not get myself out of, so strap in. This isn't gonna be your typical react video. Put your big boy pants on and get ready to revisit Minecon.
But now, for the moment, you have all been waiting for.
There's Notch, and here's the crowd.
The first Minecon was held on August 31st, 2010 in Bellevue, Washington. And it actually wasn't even called Minecon yet. It was called MinecraftCon. Come on guys, no creativity. This was actually a meetup created entirely by fans, no affiliation to Mojang. Though Notch, the creator of Minecraft, pictured here burning crosses, did make an appearance. But it was really just a group of about 30 fans who wanted to meet up to celebrate the iconic sandbox game. Super wholesome moment actually. But this got Mojang thinking. The first official Minecon hosted by Mojang was actually held in Las Vegas in November of that next year. The convention hosted about 5,000 guests. So quite the jump from the 30 beforehand. I mean, anybody who was anybody was there. No, I mean it seriously. Prince Harry was there at the adults only after party.
What the heck?
What the fuck? But if Minecon's original intentions was to unite Minecraft fans and royalty alike to celebrate the iconic sandbox game, where did the wholesomeness go? Why is the event now considered to be infamous? Well, for that answer, we're gonna have to flash forward to 2013.
Twice 13? Let's do this.
Rewind YouTube style.
2013 was an explosive year for Minecraft. With multiple updates released throughout the year and their fan base growing, Minecraft was getting bigger and bigger. In an article created by The Guardian, which we'll get back to later, it was reported that 33 million users had downloaded Minecraft at that point. It was the first year that Minecraft entered the top 10 best-selling games of the year list. A lot of eyes were on Minecraft. When Minecon tickets were released, the first batch sold out in 3 seconds. Everyone wanted to be there, which leads us to the canon event of Minecon's story. Because tickets for Minecon were so high in demand, Mojang actually decided to live stream the event that year. Every single panel and Q&A. What could go wrong?
Yo, no.
On November 30th, 2013, a YouTuber uploaded most awkward moments at Minecon 2013, taking footage from the VODs, turning it into a cringe compilation. The video immediately went viral, with countless copycat compilations coming out afterwards. This led to many iconic memes such as,
I was wondering, what's the recommended amount of dedicated RAM I should have to a server?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat your question?
Dedicated RAM.
This is a technical question you're asking.
That's probably the most viral clip of the event. And it's honestly one of the more lighthearted. The awkwardness, or cringe, if you will, in this clip doesn't really come from making fun of the kid. Rather, it comes more from the awkwardness of those on stage not being able to understand what this kid is asking. This clip, for the most part, is relatively harmless. In fact, Super Kai actually made a YouTube channel after this went viral, where basically his entire branding was based off of this one meme. While this meme was hopefully relatively harmless, a lot of the humor in this compilation is directed towards people who are coming off as a bit socially awkward or socially inept. I think there's a lot of shame in our society and fear of embarrassment, so I think it's pretty natural to cringe when something is coming off as a bit awkward. You can look at these clips and they can be a bit of a tough watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. What I want to focus on in this video is our culture's current obsession with calling out, reacting to, and making fun of cringe behavior. behavior. This one commenter really caught my eye. I legit can't watch this without passing out of self-embarrassment and cringing to death. Yet you keep watching. I guess it's like a car crash, right? You just can't look away even though it's so horrific. But it's a little deeper than just not looking away. Why did you feel the need to comment? This is a very intentional and deliberate moment. And while this comment was again relatively harmless, there are a lot worse poking fun of the attendees of this event. And I mean some brutal attacks. But if they're cringy, it must be okay to make fun of them, right? Then why does it feel so wrong?
Thing that I find unusual, and it's, you know, it's not a criticism so much, but his targets are underdogs. And comedy traditionally has picked on people in power, people who abuse their power.
Why does he get away with it, do you think, then?
Well,
we have never laughed at jokes about the
Well,
poor.
he's appealing, I think he's appealing largely. I think his core audience are young white males who are threatened by these groups. I think a lot of these guys aren't sure their manhood, because that's a problem when you're going through adolescence. You know, am I really? Could I be? I hope I'm not one of them. I think that's what is at the core of that experience that takes place in these arenas, is a certain, you know, a sharing of anger and rage at these targets.
Comedy has a long history of challenging societal norms. Part of a comedian's job is to push boundaries and thread a thin line when criticizing our society. Now, while comedians are entitled to whatever they want to say when pushing boundaries, and audiences are entitled to react however they feel when watching their content, there are notions to kind of put a structure, maybe some guidelines around what's okay to say and what's not. That's where the idea of punching up versus punching down comes into play. Now, I'm going to give you a very simplified explanation of what punching down and punching up is. I did the wrong hint. So if you want more information on the topic, I'll link some stuff down below. But to its most basic idea, punching down is taking a group of people that is already oppressed and belittling them further, while punching up focuses more on making jokes about people or groups in our society who already hold quite a bit of power. This notion doesn't necessarily mean you can't make fun of one group and you can make fun of the other. It just sort of makes you think more about who you're making fun of and why. But are these cringe compilations punching up or punching down? Well, it's often considered punching up when you're making fun of public figures like CEOs, actors, YouTubers, people who have put themselves out there and have achieved some sort of fame or gained some power. That's why these YouTubers can make videos about cringe influencers without it feeling icky. Well, depending on who you ask, at least.
I don't like cyberbullies, and you're a cyberbully.
But are the Minecon attendees public figures? Well, they're being live streamed, right? For all to see on the internet and viewed probably by thousands of people live and millions of people in the reruns. However, they came to the event to meet and greet public figures related to Minecraft. They themselves weren't public figures before, during, or after the event. Being filmed and live streamed was merely a side effect of being at the event. Within these compilations, there's a few clips where clearly the target of a joke is a public figure.
Is Harambe a type of game? It's not a type of game? Then why do I need to know about it? He's a gorilla.
Maybe if this compilation focused more on the public figures that were paid to be at the event, the ick factor might be on a much smaller scale. However, these compilations don't really focus on the public figures all that much. So I consider them to be mostly a form of punching down. However, I think the problem in these compilations lies much deeper than just punching down. I think at times these cringe compilations can be a form of...
We catch middle school students using the words mental, autistic, the R word, and many other degrading terms, even in jokes. And for every child using that vocabulary, there's a disabled kid hurt. The problem is, many parents, teachers, and students think that because there is no physical violence going on, or the words were said in a joking manner, that the problem isn't that real, when in reality, it hurts just as much as physical violence.
Now, I want to preface this section by saying I'm in no means an expert on this topic. Don't get me wrong, I've definitely done my research for this video, but this tiny section could be an entire 30-minute upload on its own. This video will just be scratching the surface of this topic. I'll include some links down below in the description if you want to read more or watch more about ableism and how it relates to cringe culture in our society. I also want to clarify that I in no way, shape, or form know any of the identities of those involved in these compilations, nor do I know their relationship to self-identifying as neurodivergent. I'll be speaking in a lot of general terms here to bring up a point that I think is worth noting. I'm merely using these cringe compilations as a vessel to talk about a much deeper issue. Okay, now with those disclaimers out of the way. Ableism is the discrimination or prejudice of individuals with disabilities. When I first started to feel icky about watching these cringe compilations, ableism was one of the first things to come to my mind. I think a lot of the intended humor in these compilations are targeted towards certain characteristics of the attendees. Many of them have a speech impediment, or a lack of a social filter, or a lack of understanding of social cues. Maybe they have difficulty communicating what they really want to say. A lot of these traits have been linked to being neurodivergent. Neurodivergent is kind of this unofficial umbrella term. It kind of describes people whose mental or neurological function differs from what is the norm or what is typical, right? What is neurotypical. A lot of much more reputable sources than myself have talked about how Minecraft is sort of a safe space for many autistic children and even adults. That Guardian article that I mentioned earlier, the writer actually talks about how their 7-year-old son has autism and how Minecraft has been an outlet for him to express himself. The same year that these Minecon cringe compilations come out, a server called Oddcraft was created. This server was meant specifically for children with autism. So if Minecraft has become sort of a safe place or haven for individuals who are neurodivergent, are cringe compilations tearing these communities down? Now, I know what you're thinking. It's not that deep, bro. But before you dismiss my point, let's take a look at some of these comments. Social cues are non-existent at Minecon. These people are so incredibly odd. Why do only weirdos play this game? As well as like 4 out of 10 of them cannot pronounce R correctly. The girl with the business cards is basically drooling all over herself. Minecon is literally full of kids with autism and Down syndrome. A lot of R words play Minecraft, I see. Good lord, it's like a giant R word convention. I know this is really mean, but why is their entire fan base R word? And all these comments are just from the past year alone. God, I can only imagine how much worse they get when you scroll older and older. Now, before you say that these are just a couple of bad apples and it shouldn't harm the enjoyment of these compilations, I urge you to really look within yourself and ask yourself, why do I find this funny? Trust me, I'm not shaming you. The only reason I'm making this video is to confront a lot of the feelings and views I had myself when watching these compilations. Our society is so uncomfortable with people acting outside of the norm that we not only cringe at what's different than the norm, we actively pursue to belittle it and those who act outside of it. Which brings me to my next and final point. Something I like to call generational repression of the spirit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, you'll probably be about as good as I was. That's kind of the way it works, and I was below average, so, whoa. So you'll probably ultimately rank somewhere around there, so you'll excel at a lot of things, just not this. I don't want you out here shooting this ball around all day and night, all right?
All right.
Okay? All right, go ahead.
Throughout history, our society has found ways to conform us into accepting in, believing in, and participating in a norm. The norm is kind of the unwritten rules of society. Those who act outside the norm are often shamed, as we've seen countless times throughout this video. This shame can come from parents and family, loved ones, or even complete strangers on the internet. We instill this norm at a very young age. Children aren't born with preconceived notions. They're taught them. They're taught it at home. They're taught it at mandated, standardized school systems where if they're unable to conform, they're labeled concerning. The systems put in place in our society discourage individuality. To be completely honest, they kind of discourage unadulterated joy and personality, uniqueness. I mean, think about it. We're trained out of creativity at a very young age. Think about what your parents told you is an appropriate job to have. Probably a doctor, a lawyer, a manager. What jobs were you discouraged from? Being an artist, because that doesn't make money. This makes money, and money is all that matters in our society. We're trained out of personality and joy. Children are told to quiet down to not embarrass their parents. We have such a deep fear of being othered that when we see people acting in a way that breaks our societal norms in a cringy manner, it actually validates our own place in this world. Whenever I feel I am socially awkward, I come to this video and I soon feel better. This makes me feel so good about my social skills. Is cringe culture a knee-jerk fight-or-flight response to seeing those who aren't afraid of being unapologetically themselves in a society where people feel like they can't be themselves truly? Could this be society's brand new system to further repress our kids and then train them out of creativity, personality, and joy? Could this be the internet's way of continuing the legacy of our generational repression of spirit, where people are ridiculed for embracing their authentic selves and expressing their individuality? The truth is, I don't know. I really hope this video didn't come off as preachy or lecture-like. I don't have any answers. I don't think necessarily there's a right or wrong when talking about cringe. This is less advice or an essay and more just my unfiltered thoughts that have come up in my brain these past few days. Will I stop calling things cringe? Probably not. When something's cringe, it's fucking cringe. Did I learn nothing from my own video? I mean, no, I do commentary videos. Half of the job is just calling things cringe. And it's not to say that some things don't deserve to be called out as wrong, and cringe might just be the best format to do so. I think I'm just trying to be more aware of why I think a certain thing is cringe and how I respond to that cringe. And being more aware of the effect that could have on others. I still have so many questions though. The main one being, what the fuck was Prince Harry doing at the Minecon after party?
I just wanna fuck a dude. His tongue is so sticky like glue.
Thanks for watching the video. This video turned out to be a bit more of a one-sided rant than I'd hoped it'd be, so please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to get into some discussions and debates with you guys. I don't really have a fully formed opinion on this topic yet, so I want to talk to you guys about it. Just please keep it civil down there. Please subscribe for more entertaining videos. Thanks, bye.